I'm going to tell you to fuck off. And I'm not even going to have a discussion with you. I'm not even going to listen because you're starting from a place of such negativity and using all sorts of words. I'm not afraid of you,
Right.
but you're like so far gone and so negative and you're an online troll that I will not engage.
Right.
You have someone like, I will call her out in a good way. I am Rachel on on my Instagram, who you were right there, who says, David and Kathryn, have you ever thought, like, as a Black woman, I am Rachel as a Black woman, that this might,
or is it Rachel? It's Rachael. I don't know. Rachel. I don't know.
I thought it was I am Rachel.
Okay.
But maybe it's I am Raquel, but like she was saying, like, have you ever thought about it? Like, I'm like, huh. And I came to the same conclusion you did. Like, no one has forced me to be here at this decision, either of you. I'm like, this actually makes logical sense of why Garcelle would say, if I bring this up, race will now be my entire storyline. I agree with that.
Yep.
And why she also pointed out, like, maybe Garcelle was just so, I mean, it's so egregious to hear this that it takes you a minute to process this. And why wouldn't you bring it up at the reunion when you have everyone in front of you? Like, here's everyone, let's just address this. So I agree with you. I never would have thought of it that way. And this person on my Instagram, when she said, did you ever think about it like this? I had the same reaction you did. Like, because we're discussing this like adults, you're right. Like, I learned something in this situation, and that is what I loved.
Isn't that great though? Isn't it great that I'm Raquel or I'm Rachel came and said, think about it this way and said it in a nice way, agreeing, disagreeing with us and pointing it out, and you can have a discussion without the kind of shading and ugliness. I don't know. I felt like that really was a teaching moment for I am Rachel, for you and I, because I saw your response after mine. And I apologize. I said, gosh, thank you so much for pointing that out. I mean, I learned something, and it is a teaching moment. And this is how we all get better.
Totally. And like, for instance, like I had, like from New York, I had Ebony Williams. I don't know. Do you watch New York Housewives? You don't have to if you don't.
No, I've seen it. We travel a lot. And so if I can like download some of it onto my iPad, then I'll do it. And I'll get caught up, but it always comes in the ranking of what other shows I'm trying to watch. I'm not a TV watcher.
Well, nobody watched it this past season, apparently, but I had like Ebony Williams and Heather Thompson, two people that had this issue on, the TV. I had them both on my podcast separately. And I told both of them, like, I actually learned something. I mean, I've had Ebony on twice, like from watching New York Housewives this season, like literally, I don't have to say that. Like, I literally learned things that I'm like, I never understood this. I learned terms I've never heard of before. And I'm like, this all makes sense. Like, and that's what I love too. It's like, we can have a discussion and like, I truly can see why this would be offensive. I didn't mean, or you didn't, but like, you learn of like, putting myself in like Garcelle's shoes, this actually makes complete sense. That's what I thought was great about these comments from I am Rachel. It wasn't because there was other shit on YouTube, and I'm like, I won't even engage, like, I'm not even going there. Like now this is like, anything I say, now you're a troll, and like, we're going to go back and forth for 7 days. And that I don't do.
I think it's so funny where the people that like make a comment and they'll like who are you, Kathryn? I don't even remember you. Great. I think that's hysterical that they think that I care, that's like, hurting me. That's a wonderful thing as far as I'm concerned. Please don't remember me. I am just a viewer like you who maybe has a little bit more experience and maybe knows them a little bit better than what you think you do. And it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion.
You're like, please forget I was ever on Housewives. Like, that's great that you don't know me.
I just really love to come from the sidelines and like weigh in with my little 2 cents.
Well, that's fine. Someone on YouTube said, who are these two nobodies or something like that? And I'm like,
that's what I say. Someone said, who are you? And I was so tempted to write back, I'm a nobody, just like you. But then I thought, no, they'll think that I'm like sending a dig at them, but I'm really not. I'm like everyone. I'm not better than anyone. I don't think I'm just a nobody. I'm just me, just moving along here.
That's why I think everybody loves having you on here, because you were on the show and you were at least in it, and like you Beverly Hills, and these people, like, but you are coming from a place of like, this is my true opinion. Like there's no
Yeah,
angle here. That's what
right.
I think everyone loves about you.
And my true opinion is based on what I know, what I've experienced and witnessed and saw go down, and then what I know of the people on the show, and then basically my deductions and opinions of what I'm seeing now. That's it.
This was a whole between that. Listen, I have to be honest. I thought that our conversation last week, because you were on in September 7th and 8th, that had a lot of press and we had some things to say. I seriously thought last week that, people, the listeners are going to love it, but we really didn't say anything that I thought I literally was like, there's going to be no press, which is fine. Like
Yeah.
I just thought life would go on. I didn't realize, I thought we were like just talking. I really didn't think we had any major explosive bombs. And this whole week which was great with I Am Rachel or I Am Raquel, with that, we learned something. Then all this stuff with you and Lindsay Cronin. And then there was all this other press. I had a whole thing where like, I don't want to get into it, but like, there was all this stuff out there that was like directly out of my mouth, literally things
really?
I said.
Really?
About Lisa Vanderpump, like, I think she'll be back one day. It's not going to start with a 1. It has to start with a 2, like literally direct quotes. And, there's these Bravo insiders, people that work for Bravo that listen, I mean, I never care about this stuff. I'm too busy. The show gets a ton of press. I am literally, I can't micromanage. I'm too busy.
Right.
But
Just let it go.
it became a thing where if anyone looks and it says Lisa Vanderpump it's all out there. Lisa Vanderpump wants to come back to Real Housewives. She won't make less than Kyle. Okay. I didn't really say that, but I said literally word for word, Vanderpump Dogs failed, Overserve failed. It was literally like exactly things. Look, who says it will not start with a 1? It has to start with a 2. That was where it was like, okay, wait. And then I started reading all this stuff about, we were talking about Dorit is probably the most likely to be going. Then there was Crystal stuff that was like exactly what I said. Like they're going to call her aside and say, listen, honey, no threats, but you better step all this stuff. And it was all over this place. So I'm just like, you know what? So I'm like, I am actually pissed off. And now I'm going to take a minute out of my busy life and seek out these Bravo insiders that are saying this and like not giving me credit. Exactly. Which I never do because I'm not that person.
Honey, talk. Go ahead.
So I just like, I won't even, so I know who this Bravo insider is. And like, I dealt with like the paper where it started, like they were wonderful, but like, as I'm not calling them out, it's just like, it was just one of those, like this whole thing about Lisa Vanderpump wanting to come back and need to know, it's like someone took that and just, I don't know what you get out of that. Like if you're not getting money, like you get your ego that you created this. Well, I really did. And it's not about my ego. They never get that way. I'm just like, it kept resurfacing. And then there was something about dirt. I'm like, there's 17 things that I said. I am the Bravo insider. And now I'm about to just call people out here. And the person like that, listen, it all worked out. This publication was like, you're amazing. Like I wasn't blaming them. I was just blaming this person that's this insider who I figured out who it was. And just like,
you know who it is, but you don't want to share.
I mean, I'll tell you like afterwards,
Okay.
But like, so I've been dealing, so just like, there's this, I thought we were just talking. Like, I really didn't think so it's like, there was this was a shit storm of a week from our talk last week, honestly.
Wow. I didn't know.
That just all happened. And like, and I'm not that person. I'm just like, cause you're like, why who cares? Like tomorrow's a new day. There's so much new stuff. But listen, Kathryn, people are now anonymously listening to us and anonymously quoting the things that we say. That's where this is.